Hi, in this video I will show you how to set up this desktop of mine based on Xubuntu. That's the Ubuntu distribution and the Xfce desktop environment. Why am I doing this? Well, Xfce and Xubuntu is one of my favorites in Linux. It's a very efficient and small desktop. It's quick and rapid, but it's a cleaner look to it than some other more heavy distributions. And normally I actually use Gnome, but since Ubuntu has decided to change their default desktop to Gnome, the Ubuntu Gnome version will end. And since I really need the Ubuntu distribution as a base, everything should be fine. But in their effort to make the desktop more accessible, I think, to new users, they are changing the default Gnome experience a lot. And that bothers me. I really like the stock Gnome desktop, and the new one is not even simple to customize. So it's maybe a lot easier for a beginner to Linux, or for someone that comes from the old Unity desktop. But for me as a Gnome user, I will probably do something else. And one of my favorite desktops environments are Xfce. I run it on a lot of other computers, at least those that don't have a touch interface, because in those cases Gnome is better. So in this video I will show you a script that I've created to do a lot of the things automatically, but you will still have to do some things manually. And I will show you some of that, so you at least get started with the Xfce desktop. And what you see here is really a lot of customizations too. And I'm recording this after the video you are about to see, so I have fixed a few of the problems that I find in the video. So for instance, up here, that's a conky widget. And if you want to set up that, just search for conky. And you can activate any extra desktop widgets you would like. Now I'm destroying my desktop. Okay, let's get started with the installation of the customization. And for this I'm using a script that I've created. So let's begin. I need to get the script, and I will put a link in the description so you just can copy and paste that to your terminal. Sudo wget, and I will paste in the path to the script. Actually, I didn't need sudo. But anyway, there it is. To run the script, I just type in sh and the script name. The script starts with a number of questions, and I have default selections that I will use for this, but you can type in yes or no, the letter Y and no, whatever you like. So sound and video, yes. Graphics and photos, yes. GIS and well, science stuff, programming and so on, yes. Games, yes. Spotify, yes. Dropbox and Office Extras, yes. Play on Linux. I need my tools for the airport from Apple, so yes. Laptop, no. Actually, I will try and install this, the Mate software boutique, because that is an excellent software boutique for installing some specialized software that are proprietary. So that one, I will add that. Sublime Text, commercial but excellent text editor. Internet options, yes. And I like to have a dock. That is actually it. During the installation, I will require to confirm some licensing agreements for proprietary drivers. For instance, for Steam and the Microsoft Core fonts. But that is more or less it. You will not have to do anything else. And this will take a while to run through, so I will probably pause the script, pause the recording. But if you are new to Xubuntu, this is a standard installed Xubuntu 17.10, but it is the beta release, so everything in my script will not work here. Hopefully it will work when you run this. The standard Xubuntu is very simplistic, very bare, and that is what some people like about it. But if you are new to Linux, it can be a bit minimalistic. You have your start menu. It's called a whisker menu with categories for software. You have a bar where your started applications will show up, and you have a clock and that, so on. Apart from getting access to the start menu from top left and configuration settings, you can also get that from a right click on the desktop. Oh, now the core fonts wants to be installed. So tab, enter, agree to the license terms, yes, and it's on its way again. So you have a context menu for the desktop, so you have a lot of options on how you access information or create documents and whatever. But I think I will pause the video right now because, as I mentioned, this will take a while. And when I get back, the script will be finished and a lot of windows will have open on the screen. And we'll start from there. So, see you in a while. Okay, that was the end of the script. So I think you saw some of the last finishing opening of windows. I think I had some problems with the end of the script. I need to look into that. But not a huge problem. So, depending on what you selected, you will get a few windows like this. So, for instance, if you selected Office, you will have the option to log in to your or create a Dropbox account and set that up. I will skip that for now. You can set up your email. We'll skip that as well. You can run through the software updater and check for drivers. And depending on your hardware, you really should do this because some specific hardware require additional drivers, and most of them are detected. but I will skip that as well because this is a virtual machine. If you have software you want to add that is Windows software, for instance the airport utility, you can install that. Let's try it. Yep. Yep. Okay. Next. 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 On Play on Linux, some files are available online, others you need to have your own installation media. For some games, for instance, you need to have the actual game DVD or game CD. Otherwise, this Play on Linux will take care of setting up the Windows environment for the software. So here I have the, yeah, I accept, next. It's not the most current airport utility, but it works. So since I don't have any Macs or Windows machines, this is how I can administer my network. Yep. The menu editor, you can add and configure it, the menu, however you like. I'll skip that as well. And there is a text document with a few hints on what to do when you are have installed everything. So for instance, you can add the lightning calendar to Thunderbird. And you can sync that with your Google Calendar if you have one. The dock is not visible, and hopefully it got installed, because that is one of the problems I think I have. No, it did not install. I will fix that in the script, but for now I will manually install it. So sudo apt, or why should I do this in the terminal? I can do it in the software start software application. Here we go. Let's go shopping. All software are not available in the software center, but most are. Cairo Dock, install my password, and launch. Remember my choice, yes, and there we are. A nice dock. The dock can be configured in a lot of ways. But this is another way to start applications through a button in the dock. But you also have all the launchers, and if there are launchers you don't like, you can either drag it out, or if that didn't work, remove. Yes. Pigeon, I don't want. I don't need the help. Remove. And if you want to add software, for instance, I can add the WPS writer. Just grab it with the mouse, drag it, and drop it where you want to have it. And if you want to rearrange anything, just grab it and move it. I just destroyed Thunderbird. No, I didn't, but I removed it. Thunderbird, mail, and drop it in again. I may have some issues with this desktop since it is a virtual desktop, but hopefully it will be a lot less problems on hardware. So, and you can configure this by a right click and Cairo Dock configure. So for instance, you can change the appearance from the default to a 3D plane. I like that one. Apply. Like that. And you can change a lot of things here. So that was a dock. If you have some pulse audio problems, you can fix that. Pulse audio volume control. More drivers, I showed you that one. The Mate welcome is not installed. I will remove that from the script. Dropbox, talked about. Play on Linux, yes. More software. Let's check out the software boutique, because I did install that one. Software. No, that is also one thing that is an issue with the script. So I need to do this from the terminal. Sudo apt install Ubuntu Mate welcome. Yeah, I can say that the installation with the script took about 15 minutes, but that is mostly dependent on your internet connection. So it downloads a lot of data. Okay. Now I will have the software boutique. Let's try and find it here. Oops. Can't I do that? Software boutique. There. And it will detect that I'm not running Ubuntu Mate. But that's okay, I can just continue, because it's an awesome software boutique. And where were we? What was I supposed to do? Dropbox, play on Linux. Yeah, software from Software Boutique. So for instance, if you want Chrome, you can go to Internet and Google Chrome. Just check install, and it will add to an install queue. So you can go to games, for instance, Minecraft, and you can search for software. But when you're done, just check the bulk queue and apply changes, and the installation starts. And actually, I think I have one more problem. Let's see if... Okay. Password. Soon I'll get back to my problem. Launch this new application. Yes. And since it's Google, it need my keys, and I didn't log in. So, no, that's not my password. And I need to do it there. Chrome default browser, no. No. Okay, and there we go. Chrome. Never mind. Let's see if my file browser has been installed. No. This is the default file browser in Xubuntu or Xfce. It's called Thunar. It's nice, but I like Nautilus file browser instead. So in the script there is installation of Nautilus, but I need to check why it weren't installed. So I'll install that manually. Software. Search for Nautilus. Nautilus script manager files. There we go. Install. YouTube. Oh, I guess Google is trying to sell me a lot of applications since I installed Chrome. Files. So here it is. And it's called Files and not Nautilus. But anyway, I want that to start when I start my file manager and not the old Thunar. So I will change that. Preferred applications. And here I can change if I want Chrome or Mozilla or any other installed browser. But I can also change it to Nautilus. That. And next time I start the file manager, it will be Nautilus. Excellent. So where were we? Shortcuts with a la carte. I showed that. And we can go into the settings anyway, so because I need that for some other things. In the settings, I saw how you got there. There's a settings button here. You can go through all of them. About me, you can add any information you want, and when you click apply, it will ask you if you want to use the details also in LibreOffice, which is nice, but I'll cancel out. You can change the appearance with the overall theme, but I will stick with the Graybird. You can change the fonts, and the script also installed Papyrus, which I like. Icons, yeah. And fonts, you can change those as well. Okay, back to settings. You can set up the desktop with a custom wallpaper, for instance. I like that mountain there. There's a few to select from, and you can add your own as well. Menus, I don't think I want to change anything there. And that's the desktop icons. No, I'll leave them as they are, I think. Back to settings. Language support, main menu, that's the menu editor. Notifications. Okay. show it in top right like that. That's okay. And the opacity is fine. Orage, I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced. That's the calendar. You can make some settings for it, but it's a very simple calendar that looks like this, and you can reach that by clicking on the date and time up here. Panel, here you can do some things. That's the panel, it's up here. So you can change the position, you can drag and drop it around, row size, so wherever you like. I'll keep it at 24. I want to make it really transparent. That's my preference. And the items can be customized individually. So for instance, the whisker menu, I like to have the icon and the title. Change that to programs. Change the icon. And the script added a few penguin icons like that. Behavior. Right now, the starter looks like this with the search field directly on the top. Categories to the right. I want to switch that around a bit, and I want it to change the contents when I hover over the categories. So check, uncheck, check, and that's it. Now it's the way I like it. And the search field down here. Okay, that's fine. The window buttons. I don't need to have the text written, so I'll change that to remove the button labels, and I don't need the handle here, so remove that. Otherwise it's fine. Don't think to need changing more. All settings. Let's see, panel preferred applications, already looked into that. Theme configuration, if you want to override some specific colors. I rarely use this. The window manager. Yeah, you can customize this as well, but I will stay with Graybird as a default. You can add or remove buttons and change the text alignment for the title of the each window anywhere you want. Change the font, keyboard shortcuts. One thing, if you are on Windows, you are used to using the Windows key or the super key as it's called in Linux. That will not open the start menu as a default. You can change that, but the super key has a lot of other uses in keyboard shortcuts. So I suggest you leave it and use Control Escape on the keyboard if you really want to open the start menu with a keyboard shortcut. But you can do as you like. Okay, focus, that's fine. That's fine. Yep. Window Manager tweaks. Here we shall see compositor. I like to change this because when you move a window, sometimes it's nice to see what's behind it. So to start with, I will set some transparency on the title bar. Inactive windows will keep their opacity, but when I move them, I would like to see through them. That's nice. And also when I resize, I would like to see what's behind them. That's useful. Okay, back to all settings. Workspaces. In Linux you can have several workspaces. The default is just one, but you can add more workspaces here if you want to. And the login screen, no, that's not it. The login screen, that it's there. I'll get back to that. Additional drivers, Bluetooth, display. You can change the resolution and arrange the desktops and so on if you have multiple screens. Keyboard layouts, mouse, network, power manager, printers, removable media. Accessibility, that's speech, text-to-speech and so on. Gparted is the disk manager, where you can set up your disks and do formatting and partitioning. And LightDM is the login screen. And I'll change some things to, well, Papyrus, there you go. Have the same wallpaper. Balance, okay. Window position, I like to put that to the left. A bit low. That. Network session and startup. We were there. No, we weren't. So if you want, for instance, the Cairo Dock to start automatically, if it doesn't, there are settings for it. Let's see, right click, Cairo Dock, launch Cairo Dock on startup. That doesn't always work. So you can use this session and startup to define what applications should be started by default. And if you know the command to start an application, it's really simple to add a new one. And if we look at Cairo Dock, right click it, edit applications, and you see the command. So it's just Cairo Dock. I'll copy that. Add a new Cairo Dock, and the command, okay, Cairo Dock. Okay, so the next time I log in, it will start. Software updater. If you want additional users, you can add that. And I think that's it for the settings. Okay. We have configured the whiskey menu, change the theme. Sublime text, you can add add-ons to that if you want to. We looked at the software boutique. Okay, there's a lot more you can do. But let's look at the result. Pretty nice. I really don't need those. I can add a trash can to the dock as well. Configure, add-ons, bin. Ta-da! Maybe a clock could be nice. Let's see if I can change the clock. Edit. Nope. There's probably a way to configure that as well. Just haven't found it yet. I usually don't use the clock there, but anyway. Okay, let's log out. Use the dock, log out. Yep. And now you see why I use this. And now it's destroyed the size of my screen. What is the problem? Okay, that's a VirtualBox problem. So now it won't resize. But don't worry, it's a VirtualBox problem, so that should be quite okay for you. What the? Oh, okay. At least the desktop is showing up. Okay. That is how I configure my Xubuntu desktops. It's been a work in progress, but I've done it a lot of times. So any problems with the script, I know how to fix them. The only advice I can give to you, if you use my script and run into problem, try Google. It's enormously helpful to have access to internet and just search for the issue. And even if you are reluctant to using the terminal, which is this one. Let's see, where's my mouse? There. It's really powerful and quick to do things, but it's not as easy as point and click. Let's see how the resources are used. And it is a very lightweight desktop. So right now it's using a little less than 700 megabytes of RAM. Compared to Windows 10, that is a lot more. And almost no CPU usage. So lightweight, very quick and responsive. Not without problems, but anyway. Yeah, I should probably show some of the software that installed. LibreOffice Office Suite is the default, and that is still there. Let's see if I can change this a bit. Probably not. No. Anyway, that's the default. But WPS Office is maybe a bit nicer. It's a commercial software with a free version. So in the free version you don't get all the fonts and so on, but you only have to acknowledge that once. It looks a bit more like the traditional Microsoft Office. So if you are used to that, this may be easier for you. Browsers, GIMP is a very advanced graphics software, available also for Windows. And it's not really comparable to Adobe Photoshop, but you can do most you can in Photoshop with GIMP. If this is a bit too much for you, you can use Krita. Let's go to graphics. A bit simpler, but still very powerful. It has support for tablets or Wacom tablets and so on. So I quite like Krita. Graphic software otherwise, we have Blender 3D rendering software. Darktable is really nice to manage your photos. It's like Lightroom or I'm not sure what the Adobe version is called. FreeCAD, that's a free version of CAD software, very capable. Hugin is a panorama software that creates panoramas from single images. Inkscape is a vector drawing software. Like GIMP, it's a bit complex sometimes. So I also managed to add, what was it? It was called, not Krita, Carbon. There you go. It's a bit simpler graphics software for vector graphics. MeshLab is for point clouds. Synfig Studio is vector animation software. Quite nice. We have internet software, multimedia with Spotify, VLC. OBS is what I'm using to record this. But there's also Kazam, which is a screen recorder. Kodi, Media Center. So just hook up your TV. Multimedia. Kdenlive is a video editor. Audacity is for sound. Handbrake converts video files. There's a few other Office software from another provider, if you want to try that. VirtualBox, if you want to run virtual machines. Bluefish is a quite nice IDE for software development. SimpleNote, that's nice. It runs in the cloud and you can have it on any operating system and on your smartphone or tablet. And it syncs all the notes you make between them. Quite nice. Let's see, some GIS software. That's it, I think. And as usual, you can add a lot of other stuff. So if you want to have an active desktop, you could add Conky. Let's see. Install Conky and Conky. manager. I thought it was called. No, I need to add a repository for that. Well, if you want to have some information active on the desktop, Google Conky, and I will look into if I can add that to the script as well. So I think that's all for this time. And this will probably be my new default desktop for the time being, since Ubuntu most likely is destroying Gnome for me. And I quite like Xfce, so this will probably be my main distribution for a time forward. Hope you liked it. See you next time.